So there are many movies currently scheduled to release worldwide in 2021. From Dune to loads of horror releases and superhero flicks, the year is packed with potential heavyweights. Now obviously there is much uncertainty surrounding movies coming out in 2021, but it's intriguing to rank these films when considering the amount of them that is potentially releasing. It's going to be difficult to rank them into a confined list, but I thought I would do my best at putting together the most anticipated movies of next year. This will consist of films that contain worldwide buzz, potential quality, my own excitements for individual projects, and of course the honourable mentions which haven't quite made the cut. Before I get into listing the most anticipated films of next year, if you want to see more on movies coming out in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoy this video, remember to give it a like rating. But without further ado, let's dive into the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021. At number 10 on my list, I'm placing The French Dispatch. This comedy drama film written and directed by Wes Anderson, starring a huge ensemble cast of Benicio del Toro, Adrian Brody, Frances McDormand, Timothée Chalamet, and more, is sure to catch a lot of attention when it releases next year. Coming off the back of the Grand Budapest Hotel and Isle of Dogs, Anderson is one of those directors who brings consistent quality and can get the best out of his huge cast. The film was rescheduled for release on October the 16th, 2020, before being pulled from the schedule again, and it is currently planned for a 2021 release, with reports that it could debut at the Cannes Film Festival. We'll have to see, but seeing the range of actors on display, there is sure potential for an Oscar contender from Wes Anderson. At the next spot is the first of a new wave of horror films on my list, and it includes A Quiet Place Part 2. After the success of John Krasinski's first film, the sequel is bringing on board a heavy hitter in Cillian Murphy and aims to widen the response of the original. It will be interesting to see how they will keep the approach fresh with Part 2, but we already know that the film is going to have a good chance at attracting people back into theatres after the success of the first. Hopefully we see new elements of horror and emotion brought on board for this new film, just as the first was able to accomplish. In at number 8 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This could be a game changer for the MCU in terms of what it introduces and the storyline capability. I must admit, before Sam Raimi signed on to direct, I wasn't as interested in the project, but after seeing what he can bring to horror and superhero fare, this is something to be excited about. With rumours that Scarlet Witch, Peter Parker actors Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, Loki's Tom Hiddleston, and Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds suggested to potentially appear, this could open up the options not just for this film, but also the ones that follow, including Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3. We'll have to see, but the production cast and director really get me on board with whatever route they are going for with this next entry in the Doctor Strange and Marvel Cinematic Universe. Another superhero film comes in at number 7, and it involves The Suicide Squad. With James Gunn coming in to direct this new direction for the squad, he's also bringing along some new members. With John Cena's Peacemaker, Idris Elba's Bloodsport, and the return of favourites such as Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, The Suicide Squad has a jam-packed cast that can bring a lot of talent to the table. The thing that interests me the most, however, is the war film approach that Gunn is taking. It brings a fresh perspective that audiences may want to see after the disappointment of the last film. With Gunn also having successful experience in team-ups, such as with his Guardians of the Galaxy films, this approach is something that is suited to his recent directorial efforts. At number 6 is Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright is one of those directors that always manages to shift up the genre, but while also placing his trademark comedial style within his approach. With his latest film, he is tackling the psychological horror genre and bringing on board Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith and the late great Diana Rigg. After Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, we can expect some laughs, some scares, and some more brilliant execution from the filmmaker. In terms of filmmakers, this is one of my favourite working today, and with his growing filmography, I'll be on board with whatever project he attaches his name to. At the halfway point, I'm placing Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. This romantic musical drama from Spielberg is an adaptation of the 1957 Broadway musical of the same name by Arthur Lawrence. Many people of that era know this story, and Spielberg is aiming to introduce a new generation to it with a young cast which includes Ansel Elgort and Rachel Ziegler, with the production team stating that they would leave the musical numbers intact and that the story would be more similar to the original musical than the 1961 film. There is much to be excited about for fans of this property, and new eyes will be able to see it in all of its glory. Like with Edgar Wright, Steven Spielberg is another director that creates interest, and this is a film to definitely keep an eye on come Oscar season. Coming in at number 4 is Mission Impossible 7. After the success of the last few films in this franchise, alongside the quality of the entries consistently being raised in practicality and production, there is no surprise that Tom Cruise would be teaming up with director Christopher McQuarrie for another Mission Impossible film. The IMAX was heightened, and Cruise is preparing to take audiences on another wild ride which will feature all of our favourite known characters alongside new cast members such as Hayley Atwell and Pom Klementieff. If Tom Cruise jumping off a motorcycle in mid-air isn't practical enough, then I don't know what else would get audiences on board with the action that Mission Impossible has to offer. Rounding out the top 3 is a return from Neo and Trinity in The Matrix 4. It will be over 18 years since the last Matrix, and although the previous 2 films have generally bad responses from audiences and critics, it cannot be denied that there will be a huge interest surrounding a new film in a franchise that changed the game when it comes to sci-fi action cinema. The Wachowskis are in need of a hit after a few stumbles, and the perfect way to do it would be to reintroduce The Matrix to a new generation of fans. Also, after Keanu Reeves' success with John Wick and numerous action films since, I'm sure that there will be plenty of heightened action for this new Matrix film. Just missing out on the top spot is Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond in No Time to Die. With Craig's final appearance as Bond coming in Fukunaga's directed entry, we are sure to be in for an explosive finale to his Bond. With Rami Malek as the villain, Ana de Armas, Lashana Lynch and Jeffrey Wright returning, they seem to be going all out to capture this ending. It's also key to note that Hans Zimmer is working on the score, which will be intriguing to see come to life, especially as a big Zimmer fan. And with all the countless delays during the pandemic, James Bond fans will be eager to witness the end of the story for Craig's character. Before I reach the film at my number 1 spot, here's a quick list of my honourable mentions, which includes movies that just missed out on my most anticipated top 10. This includes Zack Snyder's Justice League, Spider-Man 3, The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It, Top Gun: Maverick, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Del Toro's Pinocchio, Paul Thomas Anderson's Soggy Bottom, Fast and Furious 9, Black Widow, and Godzilla vs. Kong. And at the top of my list for anticipated films in 2021 is of course Denis Villeneuve's Dune. With Dune being delayed an entire year until October 2021, many of us have to wait a long time to see what the director has been cooking up. But with that amazing first trailer scored by Hans Zimmer and trust in the filmmaker after delivering on films such as Sicario, Arrival, Prisoners, Blade Runner 2049 and much more, he really is becoming one of the greatest of our era. There's no doubt that he will bring a unique style to the project, and with his intention to adapt the first novel into 2 films, we can expect huge depth and exploration into the planet Arrakis and all of its characters. From recent early screenings and early insights into the film, it is being hailed for its production and also being labelled the next Lord of the Rings in terms of scale, so it's safe to say that there is a lot of anticipation and hope surrounding this adaptation of Dune. We'll have to see how it all turns out and whether Dune will go down as a science fiction classic for the ages. But that was my video listing the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021. I'm excited to see what films take the year by storm and also whether these particular releases will come out on their current release dates. It's going to be difficult considering the current world circumstances, but hopefully we will get some theatrical releases to relaunch theatres around the globe. Let me know what takes position on your list for the top 10 most anticipated films of next year and what you think will be the potential best of 2021. I'm fascinated towards all of your opinions, so don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below. For more content on movies and TV shows coming out in 2021 and beyond, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating. I will be doing other top 10 videos as we approach the end of this year, so make sure to keep an eye out for whenever I post on the channel. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.